but all three of them do need farm. And there will be a moment in this game where the cut, specifically around minute 17, fueled by a Helm of the Overlord, is going to just run at them with an Axe Bristleback and that Beastmaster. And they gotta have their items up at that point.
Yeah. There's certainly a lot of comfort here for Feld. We have Master tier, Grandmaster tier, Platinum tier, Gold tier, and Silver tier. Very nice here for Radiant. And yeah, as you mentioned, like this Axe, if he gets off to a good start, that hero can do so much. I mean, we all remember TI8, the set moment with just going off as the Axe. So we'll see here. Meanwhile, on the other side, it is going to be the cut. They are undefeated here in the NA DPC Division 2, and they want to stay that way.
Mm-hmm. But they haven't looked quite invincible, right? They've dropped the map to 5 Rat 4 Staff. They've dropped the map to E-Boys. There is certainly some chinks in the armor. So especially with Felt's, I should have said it. With Felt's pattern of always winning one match before losing the series, we are going to get 3 games here. I am pretty sure.
Yeah, and I really feel like Feld are the one team, like currently in the Division 2 here, we have 4 teams that all only have 1 win so far. And I felt like Feld out of that has like the most convincing, where they could have maybe had 2 or 3 wins, but just falling off short. And we'll see it. They need to bring their A game. Against the cut, nothing but the A game is gonna cut it.
Exactly.
Okay, I just realized I said that unintentionally. With the cut.
Hey, you should just be doing it intentionally, man. That's what you're the play-by-play for.
Yeah. Down bottom, they're already going here onto Steel Borko, but like Witch Doctor plus PL, they are able to deal with the board very nicely. But DNM gets the deny there. I feel like that is very important against the Beastmaster lane. The Beastmaster, you need to be able to get those denies on your own boards. Otherwise, you're giving a lot of gold and especially experience to your enemy.
Yep, the experience is huge. If the enemy reaches level 3 earlier because you have been feeding up boars, this is actually going to become a very hard lane, because the Witch Doctor is going to have all 3 of your spells, and that's where they can just kill you with the lance.
Yeah, Witch Doctor, like the Maledict is never to be underestimated. Anytime like I see a Witch Doctor, I feel like I underestimate it, and I tell myself don't underestimate it anymore. And it just surprises me time and again. Steel Borko.
So innocent.
Yeah. There's gonna be courier going down from Giant. If a neutral kills the courier, who gets the gold?
Nobody, I think. It's just dead.
There's gonna be already 1 boar here for the PL.
Yep. And they switched the Bane out of this lane, which, as I said in drought, is very important. Otherwise, the Beastmaster has 2 free of time. So the Bane is, well, not on top right now. He is coming over to the River Rune to secure that away from Kids.
Just drinking some water. It's important to stay hydrated. Very important.
Do stay hydrated. And yeah, Kids off to a good start in the mid lane here. He's got the denies over against the SF as well. And after a while, this lane becomes the SF shoves it out. The Storm shoves it out. Both clear the side camp. Interestingly enough, no blocks on that side camp for either side.
And Kid's actually going in here onto Soldier, just a lot of harass onto that SF, but no kill potential. He still has that water rune, so Kids knows there was no kill to be had. And meanwhile up top, so it's going to be this safe lane Bristleback versus the off lane Axe. What what is different about the safe lane Bristleback versus off lane Bristleback?
The safe lane Bristleback has a lot less time pressure to get to his Aghanim Scepter. He can just actually buy items before that. Or alternatively, you could say, well, he doesn't have to start running with the Vanguard yet, because he is going to build that Vanguard. He's going to build a Soul Ring. He's going to be super tanky. Farm creeps with the Quills. Hopefully there will also be some Ancient stacks made for him. And then roughly around the same time that we're going to see the Helm of the Overlord come out for the Beastmaster, we're going to see a Bristleback with Vanguard Ags really getting up to steam and up into Felt's faces.
Do you feel like with the safe lane Bristleback, the later this game goes, the more it is in favor for Felt?
Yes, it does. Bristle does eventually fall off, but make no mistake, this guy is going to be hitting really very hard and has a lot of scaling options right all the way up until minute 40. It's only really because Felt are just running an SF that you're going to have a lot of right-click options.
Still waiting on our first blood here. Let's play a little game. Where do you think it will be happening?
Oh, I love this question. I think that's a top lane kind of thing. But it's hard. Bane provides for really good disengages, and so does a Shadow Demon, which is very annoying. Both these lanes, nobody needs to die here. Well,
that's what you always say. Like, I should die in this lane, and then suddenly it just happens, and you're like, what happened there? I'm gonna say DNM is going to die. This Beastmaster, he's just gonna be overstaying his welcome a tiny bit. So we'll see. We'll see. But so far, this laning stage going very even. I feel like both sides getting what they want out of their lanes, which overall I kind of feel like is favoring Felt.
Yep, definitely. I get these 3 cores who all want at least 1 item before they get active. The Vanguard on the axe, the SF, whatever he wants, honestly. We're going to be waiting for him to decide where he's going to go with his build first. As we see an attempted rotation onto mid from Wake Me Up, but that's just...
Can we talk about that it's very appropriate that he is playing Bane with the name Wake Me Up?
Yeah, we talked about it. So. He's been doing that more often, actually. I wonder if he's aware. Probably is.
Yes, up top here, Zor going in with the call onto Scourge McDuck. Oh, gonna be an Inkswell. One more spin, not going to get it. And Bristleback will survive. That was close, though. That was a lot of damage onto a Bristleback.
Axe works pretty well versus the Bristleback in this scenario because both of them want to be in the creep wave, and it brings a lot of pure damage spins for this Axe.
Meanwhile, down bottom, they're going on to DNM here with the Maledict. Is he gonna bounce back? Bounces once again onto the Beastmaster, and DNM with that Maledict. Another Spirit Lance. He is going to fall in first blood here for comfort. And
I wish you all could see his face right now. He looks very smug.
I'm very happy with myself.
Now, Kids, mid, got him.
Ooh, Kids. The solo kill, well, not quite solo, Giant was there. So they got the kill onto the SF. How did that happen?
It looked like he got himself pretty low before already. Might have been something to do with the setup from Giant. I wasn't there in time, but it evidently didn't require the haste run because now Kids is already top. Oh, and Zor just overstayed. He's welcome by a second there.
And Zor, he has a big stick there, and with the Ring of Health, actually very tanky. Zor under the tower now. Do they have the damage to bring him down once more from Scourge McDuck? Doesn't have the mana, and Zor will survive. At the same time, Wake Me Up, they came in here, and they're turning their attention towards Bane. Bane is gonna be able to get out of that alive. Nobody dying up here. A lot of rotations, but nobody dying.
Nobody dying. No, several magic sticks getting filled up and emptied again here, which is always going to provide a lot of regen, of course. And both of these heroes, 1 Ring of Health, 1 Vanguard, and then Axe with the extra armor. That especially did most of the work there from the Berserker Skull. You can see that the Storm Spirit actually deals quite a bit of physical damage. He right-clicks pretty hard, but not when there is that bonus armor. 30 from the call.
Is your game paused as well?
No, mine is not. It's still going. In fact, Solji is dying on
they're
mid
going
right now.
here onto the Shadow Fiend. There's gonna be a disruption coming out then with the Nightmare coming through. Kid's gonna get gone on one more. No, the stun coming out from Steelborger. They get the kill, but not before the SF is going to die. Both mid laners going down. Giant, he wants that Witch Doctor, and with the Shadow Poison is going to get it. Will pay for it with his life, and everybody just dying here in the mid lane.
That was a rough call for the Shadow Demon to make. If he doesn't Disruptor, the SF is going to turn, but since he does, the backup from the enemy comes in, and they end up losing their mid laner as well.
There is little hope for Radiant's middle tower.
Now, 8 minutes in, we have 3 kills to both sides, but the PL has had a good laning stage, and he is now in the jungle just farming. He's already #1 in net worth. And we talked about it is going to be a PL. He can be troublesome, but the doppelganger away, but there's going to be electric vortex and comfort. Can he get away? One more jump forward by kids. He wants this kill. One more click, not going to be enough, and comfort is going to survive. Oh, so close there.
Seat of his pants escape. I think Giant popped the shadow poison a little bit earlier there. Like, maybe if you get one more hit, but it's you could also easily expect him to die there. At the very least, they booted him out of the bottom jungle, and DNM has taken the tier 1 tower bot in the meantime. He's got that Helm of the Dominator up and running. So at the very least, they've got that going for them, which is nice.
Yeah. And one thing we have noticed how Beastmaster was like countered by the course of like Witch Doctor and the PL, but there isn't really all that wave clear on the Radiant side. It is mostly on the SF, which as time goes on against the Beastmaster might become troublesome. So we have a little pause here. Wake me up. He might get woken up here and just get roared at by DNM.
Very rude. You get out of bed in the morning because somebody's just screaming in your face.
It's the military style, just coming in, screaming at you. Get up now.
Yeah. I was thinking about Mom says you're late for school. How do you do? You lazy.
I would never be late for school. I can't relate. Never.
Everybody relates. Everybody in Dota 2 stays up too late, queues too much. They all have ADHD.
Excuse me here, Kips. That is not okay. Why are you so angry? We have a good win ready here. Radiant, are we good? Are we good? Are we gonna start?
Start the screaming.
Okay. Okay, go call. Once again, from the Dire. Are we gonna see a Radiant call? Oh, okay. We're still here. We're still here. We're all good. We're all good. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. And wake me up. They don't even need the roar. They're just gonna go for the Inkswell, and that is a dead Bane. Keeping the roar for bigger targets, such as this SF, who's gonna be forced to back off. Zor gonna be disconnecting here as we have some lag issues.
Unfortunate. I actually wanted to bring up something that you said here, because we are talking about how the SF is the only one that clears a creep base, right? Now, in most games, you would really love to just build boots of travel on an SF, right? That's the game. That's where you feel good. But this is not the kind of game where you can do that. You have a PL that you need to get to the late game. You have an Axe who also needs farm. You need to get active. You need to have these treads because, yeah, you're the guy standing under the mid tower right now. You can't dodge this. So he's got treads. He's working on the Dragonlance. But that does mean...
up top, they're gonna go onto Zor here. Giant here as well with the Purge coming in and looking to take down the big beastly axe. And will be able to do so. Comfort, meanwhile, just providing a little bit of poke. But that's... another pause here. There are some server issues going on. I had them myself. I had to reconnect.
Okay, hey, if you wanna convince somebody that your keyboard's not working, you just spelled Keobard, and everybody will know. Oh yeah, that's not good.
So it feels like the cut, actually, they have a 2,000 net worth lead, and they are now getting active. Like, that's very much like the game feels like they gear now up. DNM, he's ready to take another tower. He's a Beastmaster and the Tower Taker.
Yep. As good as a lane as this PL has had, he's not the one that's actually going to be leveraging that net worth. I mean, we saw it right now with the Bristleback. Like, he walks up, he pokes him a couple of times, but he'd really rather not.
Yeah,
He's got
I
himself a
don't think
Yasha
Bristleback
first
even
as well.
noticed that.
It's like, I'll put my back into it.
Steel Borko, he is going to be under his tower, but that is going to be a bait. Solji coming in and looking to go. That's going to be the Nightmare save onto Steel Borko, but he still dies to the Inksville, and now they're going to go onto the SF. That's 2 heroes already down. Zor coming in, gets the call onto the Storm Spirit. That's a dead Storm Spirit. Kid's going to go down, and DNM on the wrong side of town, just going to be forced to TP out. At the same time, Zor still running a Giant here. That's going to be a lot of Shadow Poison, but the Culling Blade with the fist, good enough to split that skull in half of the Shadow Demon. That was all 5 heroes for Radiant though. All in the mid lane, while Scourge McDuck, he wants the money from the tower. Well,
he might be harassed off here a little bit, although I don't think they actually have the damage for him.
That's gonna be... Oh,
that's...
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Anti-synergy to the max. I think in that attempt there, you can very clearly see how hard it is to play a Storm into a Bane, Soul Initiator. Like, they have the disruption, they do get him disrupted eventually, but it's not enough to save him, and it's actually a perfect setup for the Axe to come in and immediately call the Storm afterwards.
Yep. And we saw, like, how do you go on this Bristleback? Maledict is nice, but you really need that damage from the SF. He's gonna have a Dragonlance finished. Oh, and in the mid lane, there's gonna be the call. Zor gets the call here into the Nightmare. Do they have any further lockdown? With the Culling Blade, they get the kill! Ooh, that's a big one.
That is some spicy chili you're serving up there. And yeah, I feel like they shouldn't be making goes on the tower like that unless they have DNM with them. And they actually have that roar, have the vision. Because right now, Zor is feeling pretty decent. He's got himself to Vanguard.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane though, DNM with that roar going straight onto the Shadow Vision, but he doesn't have the damage. He's gonna force out the Requiem.
Optimistic.
Yeah.
You know, I like me an optimist, but that was pretty...
You gotta have some realism with it.
Yeah, exactly.
As we do see now here a smoke from the Storm Spirit together with the Grimstroke, and Zor is gonna dispel that smoke on Kids. They thought it was from the other side. Ooh. Wake me up though. The Endure is still smoked up, and they're gonna go onto the Axe here. That's gonna be... It's gonna be a tanky target though, the Purge coming through, and with DNM here, they dodge the call, and now he has the extra armor. The Nightmare save from the Inkswell not gonna be good enough, and they take down the Axe.
Let's do this.
And now they can finally tip over that middle tower and really establish their stranglehold on the bottom side of the map. And you're also de-warding here, taking out the pesky vision. Felt had up for their defenses. This side of the map is now definitely DNM's.
Yeah, and you mentioned the like 17-minute timing for that Helm of the Overlord. It might be 15. Oh, they get an eye on the tower. That's nice. That helps a little bit.
Yeah, that certainly slows it Overlord down. Yeah, it's... I wanted to paint an optimistic scenario. Like, I think their regular timing is more like 16 minutes. And I saw 14 minutes yesterday, which was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The game was over at that point.
It's just everybody going back to farming here. The PL is still keeping up, but so is the Bristleback as well as the Beastmaster especially. Kids has fallen off a little bit as the Storm Spirit playing very active, not being able to hit as much. Onto the creeps, onto the crepice.
So he's going Sanjay Gaia. He's going to make sure that, you know, he is going to get disabled a whole lot. Better get myself some extra HP. Make sure that I, at the very least, get the staying power to hang in there as long as possible. A little bit of a reduction on the debuffs.
And Bristleback, he has that Aghanim Scepter finished. Is that the point where Bristleback now actually starts really joining the fights?
I mean, I think he's demonstrating that.
Yeah. He's just in front of tier 2. He doesn't care, but we are gonna have some smoke action from the Radiant side. Felt they're not liking this feeling that this current game provides, and they want to change it with this smoke. What would be the big kill here for them with this smoke?
If you can slow down a bristleback here, that's huge, but I don't think they actually have the damage yet.
Yeah, he's even offering himself up right up front, but how do you go on him? Endure is right behind him. Giant actually a little bit away, so safe not gonna be straight right in time there, but yeah, they can't go on Scourge McDuck.
He's gonna make it even harder for them. He's bringing in the cloak right now. Sorry, excuse me, the full hood. Might just move into an internal shroud.
Yeah. And now, 4 heroes here from the Dire. They might be looking for this bottom tier too. It's gonna be pinged out and drawn towards it. They have a catapult with it, so DNM, he has the Helm of the Overlord. He is ready to fight out. At the same time, we're gonna see a smoke here from the Radiant towards top, but Dire already there. That's gonna be the Nightmare save. Jump in here by Kips the Soulbind, but there's going to be the Fiend's Grip straight onto Kips, and they lose 2 heroes right at the start. The double roar is gonna come out, but Comfort has arrived. They take down 3 already. Scourge McDuck coming in through the backlines. It's gonna get Nightmare. They want to take care of DNM first. He has no more mana, forced to go under his tower, and another pause.
Slag once again. And yeah, they really cannot leverage Scourge McDuck fast enough in this fight. Most of his team is already dead. He's in the back, Nightmare. The Storm. He doesn't get to play, man. He does not. Look at this.
Yeah. That's where they went on to the Shadow Demon. They kept him occupied, and there was no save there with the cask bounces. A nice double roar, but where's your damage? It's only just now arriving where 3 heroes are already dead.
Yeah, not much to say about that, honestly. It was a smart way to take the fight. They make sure to smoke 3 to top one. They have 2 TP points, so one goes to the tower, the other one goes to the outpost. But they did have to try and get rid of the vision here first, which is they did actually have the time. The sentry is down, but the ward is still alive. And that gives Feld all the information they need to pick this fight apart.
Oh, and now they're gonna go on to the Bristleback here. They get the call, and with Comfort right on top of him, do they have the damage to bring him down? He's down to 20% HP, but you gotta be careful. Those quill sprays, they hurt. And they don't have the ways of killing him quite yet.
They don't. And DNM also lived. He's got the Helm of the Overlord, so this is where the push gets real. I imagine the cut is going to look to take Roshan very soon with the minus armor from the Bristle.
But we saw there, Felt, they had a good fight there. Comfort was involved, he got some kills, has the Diffusal Blade, has the Yasha, and 2,000 gold saved up. Is he gonna go for the Manta Style or the SNY? What would you? It's gonna be the Manta Style. Already answered.
I do like that he kept the gold though, because this is definitely a game where you can afford to go for the SNY instead. Not much risk of an Orchid on the Storm, for example. He needs different items first. But you might as well get it. At some point it is going to come out and you're going to regret it. And Scourge McDuck.
He's once again in front of the tower. And there's gonna be Demonic Purge on the Soldi, but he's gonna be Shadow Amuleted there. And he's gonna be able to get away.
So far, Felt doing a great job of clearing up the threat before it ever gets to their tower. Scourge never gets to actually stand there and hit. Good Radiant Vision in this area as well. And if they have to be this group, if they have to constantly keep an eye on him with their supports, then the PL is going to keep on farming freely.
That's exactly what Comfort has been doing. He is now #1 in net worth. And Dire, ever since Bristleback got this big and tried to get involved, the cut hasn't really been able to find any opportunities to make their plays. We are gonna find some couriers here. Courier lives matter. Please micro them. There it is. Steel Borko. Making sure it doesn't feed them into the meat rider. But there's gonna be the call. Wait, no. There was a call, but not quite sure where they're going on. Endure is going to die. And PL, oh, that's gonna be a Soulbind connecting with the Demonic Purge. At the same time, the Shadow Fiend is gonna get gone on by DNM. The jump in from Kitten, that's gonna be a dead asset. But the call gonna be there from Zor, and Storm Spirit also going to die. Now the Fiend's Grip onto the Bristleback, safe coming through from Giant. And Scourge McDuck still so strong. That's gonna be the Nightmare. And it's gonna be taken off. But everybody was able to retreat at the same time. Another call here onto DNM. And they're just kiting around Scourge McDuck. And now TPing out. He has no way of canceling that. And Comfort is now going for Giant. He says, I don't want to fight the Bristleback, but I want to fight everybody else. Oh!
He didn't make it down.
Doppelganger doesn't get over the cliff. But another Nightmare here. Perfect to just kite him around. Steelborg not going to be so lucky. Another call coming through from Zor. But I don't think you have the damage to kill this Bristleback. But you have the damage to kill everybody else.
What an awkward fight. But that's honestly really well managed by Felt. There's really nothing Scourge McDuck can do there. Everywhere he turns, there is a Bane to Nightmare him up once more. And his supports are dying to the PL. They have not enough AoE disabled to actually punish the PL for just running after these squishes. And that feels really, really good if you're Phantom Lancer.
Yep. And now, oh, jump forward here. They're gonna find Wake Me Up here. The Inkswell, that's gonna be a first easy kill. And now looking for Comfort here. Gets a Doppelganger away. And Steelborg is gonna create a little bit of a diversion. And looking for Comfort, though. Zor is going to be there. Gets a call, but the save from Giant once again. And buyback from the Bane as well. Scourge McDuck still looking for Steelborg. He is gonna be invised up here. They do see him. And just the AoE damage would be enough.
They know where he is because of Scourge bumped into him, but
unfortunate, the slow death there. So finally a fight where Dire was able to find these supports right at the beginning. And these supports are so annoying for the Bristleback to deal with, the Nightmare in particular. Just keeping him in place time and again. But now they're gonna go Roche. As you mentioned, what the cut really would want to do is going to be Roche, and with the Bristleback and the Beastmaster here, that's going to be an easy Roche run for Dire.
And they have a great Aegis Carrier here with Storm. Not just the best Aegis Carrier in the game, but also especially in this game, there is only one Fiend's Grip. You can only get put out of that fight once, and after that you have all of the chase in the world. Pick Felt apart, so this is a key moment for them.
Yeah. Dolgi has his BKB finished already from the previous fight. You mentioned you would like to see a Silver Edge. What is there any other item that that the Shadow Fiend needs at this current moment?
No, that's the next one. He's got all of the utility he needs. He had the Dragonlance to farm, and for some of that range, so they can kite the Bristle better. Now the BKB to make sure that he does not get picked off by the Storm Spirit Inkswell combination, although he did pop his BKB once already, very late, and died to the physical damage, unfortunately. But shouldn't happen again. Right?
Hopefully. Hopefully. Now, with an Aegis on this Storm Spirit, Dire, they already took the bottom tier 2. They're just looking to run at towers, but their lead is not all that big, especially considering that Radiant has only been able to take the top tier 1 tower. If Radiant ever wins a fight and is able to take objectives, that lead can evaporate in a second.
Yep, completely agreed. This lead is very dependent on the cut being able to keep the pressure up. And they're still making good item progress. There's a Blink Dagger up on DNM now. There is going to be an Assault Cuirass up on the Bristleback pretty soon, which will finally enable them to siege these towers properly. But the moment they let go, they're going to lose at least 2 towers. Their waves are going to be back, and their vision advantage is really going to dwindle, and that's where they get in trouble.
None on this stage shrink from a fight.
Meanwhile, the PL, he has the Mantis style, looking now for the Skadi next, so just looking to tank up. It already feels like if he's allowed to hit on heroes, he does enough damage. Now, tier 2 is gonna be assaulted here. As you mentioned, with the Bristleback in front, if you can't go on this Bristleback, they need to find the other heroes. keep SME for last. And now there's gonna be a glyph coming out, but just to prevent the inevitable a little while longer, or prolong the inevitable. Doesn't prevent it, unfortunately.
And previously, they were able to kick Scrooge off of the tower before he was actually over on the other side, because that's where he can turn his back to the attackers, right? To the attacking side while also attacking the tower, which is why they couldn't take the tower previously. Now they were late. He was already on their tower, and that is the death of the tier 2. And of course, let's face it, they don't want to fight into that Storm Aegis just yet. They'd rather dodge as long as possible.
Felt they were at least able to take the tier 2 up top, so they got a trade out of that, which is not bad for them considering the position that they're in. And it is going to be on the cut to force the next engagement. What are they going to go for this tier 2 here in the top lane, or what do you think their next move should be?
Next move should be trying to take a base tower. That is how you force an engagement. It takes a very ruthless team to say, nah, we'll just give you the racks and we'll fight you at Roche for the next round. Don't worry about it. Most teams do not want to be at that much of a disadvantage.
Oh, Kids is gonna get the courier off the PL there. It didn't have anything on it, but he did send it to the secret shop trying to get the rest of his Skadi. And the jump forward here by Kids, finding comfort here with the electric vortex. Wakes me up is here. The roar gonna be dodged with the nightmare, and there's gonna be the Fiend's Grip straight onto the Storm Spirit, but the save gonna be there by Giant with the Inkswell over the top. They take down the PL already, and this is a fantastic fight here for the cut. They're just cutting through all of them. 3 heroes gonna go down, and the Bristleback says, I want more. He's running in.
This is the dream scenario. You didn't even need to use the Aegis to get rid of that Fiend's Grip. You can stand on this high ground now. The only problem is really your regen. Kids is gonna drain his entire bottle in order to continue this fight.
Gonna be a buyback from the Witch Doctor. Now the summons are going to be there from DNM, and that's gonna be a dead tier 3, and most likely gonna be the Rax, as no sword and no comfort for another 10 seconds. Wake me up, going in with Nightmare. They're gonna go onto the Shadow Fiend. Could not get his BKB off as it's still on cooldown. And the dust is going to be there. Another kill here. There's gonna be the call onto the Bristleback. And Bristleback is going to die. He didn't have the Aegis. Aegis also gonna be claimed onto the Storm Spirit. Oh, that's 2 big kills here. And Kids needs to get out. PL already here. He's looking for more. Not going to be able to find anything though. That's a big kill onto the Bristleback. They did lose a set of racks for it though.
Yeah, just a little bit of an over-enthusiastic romp into the enemy base there. But it's very hard to disengage at that point. The respawns are coming up. There is a Nightmare waiting for you as well. I think they were always going to lose Zero on the retreat there. It's a bit of a shame that it's the Bristleback.
And it was the Axe who got the money for it, so he's gonna be advancing towards his own BKB. And we have the smoke coming out here with Comfort and Wake Me Up looking into the enemy triangle. If they find Kids, that would be massive. They have Fiend's Grip up again. Oh, Kids. They do see him here. There's gonna be the Fiend's Grip straight onto him. But where's the damage? Now Comfort gonna be there. Kids gonna be jumping in, going for Wake Me Up. And that's going to be the Nightmare coming through. They're going to go onto the Bane, and Wake Me Up is going to die. A little bit early there on the Fiend's Grip. PL was not ready to react that fast, a little bit too far away.
True, the gap was also nearly cleared. It's a hard call to make. And the SNK really working out for Kids there. And
the Bristleback, he's ready again to run it down the lane. He's already waiting in the mid lane.
No, like this little crossing here on the just on the ramp is actually his home. This is where Bristleback lives.
Ah, okay.
Only dire Bristlebacks though, and he yearns to return to his home.
Makes sense. Up top, and we haven't really seen this SF be really able to get involved in this game. For the Radiant. Comfort though, he has now his Skadi finished, like the PL factor coming in more and more and more. Do you want to see another survivability item on him, or do you think it's time for some more damage?
The damage is going to come from the SF if he ever finishes up the Shadow Blade and then into the Silver Edge, of course. So it really depends on where they want to allocate their farm next. I honestly think that at this point, the PL should focus more on fighting, and they really need to let this SF get to the Silver Edge. Because it's kind of one of the reasons that they picked the hero in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Now, a little bit of a stalemate going on. The illusions are starting to ramp up and cannot be cleared as easily anymore. Roche is going to be up in about a minute now.
The map control game for the cut right now. All they need to do is hold on tight to disadvantage, keep the lanes in roughly this position, especially don't lose your middle tower, and you've got the best possible access point to Roche. It is really a testament to how dominantly they've been playing this game that their mid-turn is still on.
Bristleback also has now the Eternal Shroud finished in addition to the Assault Cuirass, and is looking for an SNY next. I mean, if the Bristleback is allowed to survive, he will deal all the damage that you need.
Absolutely, this man is an absolute monster. He just needs to stick on people, but the Skadi is a significant hindrance to him, both in terms of making sure that he can be kited better, as well as that the heals from the Eternal Shroud are going to be a lot less.
Now, they traded a tier 2 for a tier 1 there, and not the most beneficial of trades for the Radiant, of course, but it's better than nothing. The waves are pushing into the base now, both mid and top, and bottom will always be pushing as the Rex has been taken there. And another 15 seconds before Roshan respawns.
Waiting game, and his middle tower is getting chipped at now. That's annoying. Solji's sending his illusions.
And we already see DNM, he is aware that this mid tower is very important. He's keeping the Hawk vision around that tier 1 from the bottom side to make sure that if Radiant wants to go for that, they are aware of it as fast as possible. And Dire already into the Roshan pit. Radiant does not seem to be aware of it. It was a fast respawn, and they are just looking to trade it for a tier 2 in the bottom lane.
They're perfectly well aware. They just can't do anything about it. Both of the waves are shoved in. The Hawk Vision, as you said before, is absolutely perfect to cut off any flanking moves unless you want to commit to a 5-man smoke. And then it's going to be immediately apparent what you're doing.
We have now the smoke with the Aegis as well as the Shard. I believe they gave the Shard to the Bristleback. Yeah, he has the hairball now. Wake me up. He's just in the trees. He's fine. Gonna be dodging all of that. And there's actually gonna be a Helm of the Overlord creep. Gonna go the way of Steel Borko. Very nice for him.
Always feels good. And yeah, Scourge McDuck now is at about the biggest that he's going to be.
There's gonna be the smoke here. Zord gets the call onto the Grimstroke, but Kit with the Aghanim Scepter gets the Electric Vortex on the 2. Now the Soulbind coming out, and the Roar. The BKB does not protect against it, but they are not able to finish anybody off yet. Steel Bork in the backline is gonna go down. Requiem of Souls coming, and the call. And Giant Heapot back, already dead to Comfort once again. They cannot deal with his PL right now. Only Scourge McDuck able to deal with the illusion. And Comfort wants to avoid him as long as possible, as we have a little pause.
It's very unfortunate that this game has been so marred by all the pauses, because there is quite a lot of pushing and pulling in the shadows, and sometimes right out in the open, where I wish we could have watched this without all the interruptions, but you know, you don't really choose the quality of your internet connection. I very much
You usually don't. And we are gonna go continue here. DNM gonna get gone on an ultra kill for Comfort already, but he is getting very low. They find the kill, and now where's your damage coming from? You already lost the PL, you lost the Axe, and a triple kill for Endure, who was forced to buy back, but Well worth it. And in the end,
It works
I mean,
out.
it wasn't a bad fight for Radiant until the PL died.
No, like it's a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation where he has to stick onto the supports, right? That's where he's going to get the most damage dealt to the enemy team. This time, the cut supports, they're tankier and they're sticking onto their bristleback. It's like, alright, fine. You're going to take all this time to kill us and you're going to be taking quills all this time as well. And that's what kills the PL in the end. His other option would be running after the storm. That's no bueno either.
Yeah. You still gotta be careful the two buybacks on the cut the supports have bought back, but now a PL buyback. That is the win condition here for the cut. They're like, we kill him once more. Let's fight him once more.
One more life, and yeah, everything's on comfort living now.
Stupendous.
And there's still another 2 minutes on this Aegis. That's for me a little bit the worrisome part. We also have a Beastmaster now with a Lincoln Sphere. So he's most likely gonna be looking to put that on the Storm Spirit if Kids doesn't have the Aegis anymore, or looking to put it onto the Bristleback if Kids still has that Aegis.
Yep. I think in terms of itemization, the more interesting thing here is that the PL has gone back for the Shard and the Aether Lens, so he's actually got himself a bit of a stalling setup, a high ground stalling setup specifically, where you toss out the lances, you get the bounces, and this works very well versus lineups that have to siege with a melee hero, like our dear friend Scourge McDuck on the Bristleback. But it's not winning, it's just lengthening. He's not looking to fight right now. And let's face it, he has to wait out that buyback most likely. So might as well stall some more.
And we do have Shadow Fiend with a Silver Edge.
Exactly. Finally.
So that might turn things once more. If Scourge McDuck is not careful, if he gets hit by that break and there's no safe disruption coming, although Kips is just gonna jump in, jumping onto Soulji, he's gonna get the Requiem of Souls off, and they're gonna go on to the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit is gonna have to use his Aegis, and the Nightmare onto the Bristleback. There's gonna be the double war, they're gonna go onto Soulji. Do they have the detection? Another sip through is gonna make sure he dies, and the leash going onto Steel Borko is going to die. There's gonna be a Fiend Script, but just onto the Bristleback, which is far too tanky. Buying back now on the Witch Doctor. Oh, Comfort! He went in there, has a doppelganger away. You have to survive here. There's gonna be another Nightmare here. Comfort survives a little while longer. Scourge McDuck cannot go onto the tier 4s. That's gonna be the call from Zor, and the pure damage doing a lot there, but not enough. Comfort playing a little bit out of my comfort here, and this is still gonna be a 5v4 fight. The cut, they still have all of their heroes.
But they hold the last Storm Aegis jump for as much as that's possible, and here we go with the PL lens spam again. They're getting really annoyed by these stolen illusions from the Shadow Demon, but as long as there is no Ags up on the Grimstroke, look at that pull.
Yeah. The Agnum Scepter on the Storm Spirit has been working wonders in this game. Here's where I was a little bit scared here for Comfort. He went in pretty deep, but was able to get away. The Nightmare, time and again on that Bristleback. It's just like a 1 second delay can make so much in these team fights.
Absolutely. The Bane is really the only reason I think that the cut hasn't won yet. But they might still.
Is a Bane in their existence, you could say. So now, they are gonna back off. They don't have Aegis anymore, but they have a sizable lead, and we have gonna be a smoke coming out now from Feld. They want to make a little bit of a move here. They want to change how this map looks. They know there's no Aegis. If they find the Storm Spirit with the Fiend Script, oh, that was an illusion. They jumped on the illusion. It happens.
Yeah, I think the jig is up.
And oh, we talked about how there aren't that many ways of dealing with the PL illusions anymore. There is now an Agnum Scepter on the Beastmaster, so the Wild Axis gonna be spammed out for exactly that.
It's a bit of a stopgap. You need a lot of time, and PL also really likes on fire. Oh,
It's gonna be the roar on the wrong illusion, and the call coming in onto the NM bot. The Soulbind gonna be there. They're gonna in for the Electric Vortex connects onto 2, and they're gonna find the supports already. And everybody else is gonna be forced to back up. Soldier with the Requiem of Souls, just creating distance. Despite the roar not landing, still coming out ahead.
Yep. And losing both your supports there is absolutely devastating. And now the Bane is brought back. I'd say that this is just as much of a win condition for the cut as it is when Comfort bought back. First the keywords, now the mics.
Keyboard, mics, everything going wrong today. 2022 not going off to the greatest start here. PL still on buyback cooldown for 3 more minutes. He still needs to be so careful. But does he have a heart finished? Yes. Once he brings out his recipe, he has a heart finished. Huh. So he's gonna be very tanky.
I mean, he already was, right? But I feel like at this point, he does also need damage because the enemy supports are not dying fast enough anymore. You can't really go this far relying just on a Diffusal Blade. He's lengthening the fights, but the Bristleback doesn't mind that. Not at all.
The Bristleback is like, yeah, I like a long fight. Why not? Why not?
Let's go for another round. I'm ready. And I was talking about how DNM also needs time to stack the damage up on those axes. Well, yeah, lengthening the fights will certainly do that.
Now, in this situation here for Felt, what's your game plan? You know, you're 4v5. What is your game plan right now? To set up an ambush, or do you just want to stall it out until Steelborg is back?
In this situation, you definitely stall. You hope that they somehow over-engage without an Aegis, and you can get ideally the Storm Spirit. Otherwise, you're going to have to look at a possible Roche contest. Because once they get another Aegis on that Storm Spirit, you're back to your previous conundrum where you can't deal with their Initiator anymore. There is a possibility that with the Aegis on the Storm Spirit they can kill Scourge again. We have seen that once before. But that would also require the supports of the cut to already do that.
There's gonna be a call, the save from Giant, gonna be that jump in from Kit and jump out. Just wanna take the Rax, Kit's taking some illusion damage. And that's gonna be a ranged Rax and looking for the melee Rax. 5v4, Radiant does not wanna hard engage. And Scourge. It's gonna be called once again. That's gonna be pretty pin, but still gonna be fine.
Risky, but I really enjoyed that they did that instead of statically waiting for the next Roshan, because they have the capabilities, but it is very risky. If Kit stays like a second longer there, the Bane gets the Nightmare off, they're screwed. But instead, they perfectly leverage the advantage that they have right now. Take down another Rax. This is going to make any sort of Roche contest from Felt that much harder.
Yeah, the lanes are just constantly going to be pushing in. And it is just the Shadow Fiend and the PL who can deal with them. Witch Doctor, Bane, and Axe are not really the heroes to deal with lanes. Now, Spell Prism and Timeless Relic being found here for the Dire. Timeless Relic now on the Storm Spirit, so he's gonna be looking to deal a ton of damage. Also, the Leveler might be going for the Bristleback with that. To take the buildings a little bit faster there.
He's got the Paladin Sword for fighting, and he'll have the Leveler for sieging.
Oh, actually, he went for the Spell Prism.
Oh. Interesting.
Just more quill sprays, more viscous nasal goo.
I am of the opinion, though, that the Leveler should always be in somebody's backpack. There's no need to leave that item in base. So I always feel a bit sad when this happens.
Gotcha. In my next game as Crystal Main, I will have the Leveler in my backpack.
I mean, if nobody else wants it, yeah. And then shove it to them when you're going to hit buildings. It's like, here.
Take this right now.
You forgot this.
Now we have here a 3-man smoke coming out from Feld. They want to once again engage. And this time they might contest the Roche for the first time. They are in the area, Zor. If he gets a good call here, it is scary, but Dire, they are aware of it, and they're going to get out of the Roshan pit. The scan has scouted it out. This is a very, very tense moment here for Feld, as well as the cut. Gurge just gonna be coming on. That's gonna be the call only onto Zor, though. He has a Glimmer Cape, and they don't find the kill yet quite yet. Going into the backline, they find the Bane, they find the Witch Dog, they find the Shadow Feed. And it's a disaster. The Roar now connecting on the PL. They found the real one. Doppelganger away. And Zor does find the kill here on the Shadow Demon, but pays for it with his life. And it is all on Comfort, and that's just a little bit too much for him to handle. The ultra kill for the Bristleback. And that's gonna be Roche, and most likely the game here. Unless there's a miraculous hold.
I very much doubt it. I mean, the supports are going to respawn, but you can see here that the PL does not have what it takes anymore to take these supports down any longer. Between the Glimmer Cape and the Ghost Scepter, it is simply too hard for him. And in the meantime, his own team just dies around him. That was a very deep jump from his axe, and they had to go for that, but it was never going to work out.
And there's going to be the jump forward onto the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor is going to die. The Soulbind coming out onto the PL and the Axe, keeping them in place. The double Demonic Purge, the double Roar, and all of the damage coming out here. Kid still has the Aegis. They find the PL. GGs are called. And game number 1 going the way of the cut. They were in the lead, but it was not dominating all the time. There were chances here for Feld.